As of early 2026, the Red Sea's balance of power has shifted from warships to warehouses. For centuries, naval supremacy decided who controlled this vital corridor. Now, economic might and control over ports and trade routes have eclipsed military muscle. The real power brokers are no longer admirals, but financiers and logisticians shaping deals in distant boardrooms. A nation may patrol the sea lanes, but if a rival controls the ports, who truly holds the power? The sound of a crane loading a container now rivals the roar of a jet fighter. Deep water ports and trade agreements have become as valuable as naval bases and defense pacts. Nations investing in logistics and infrastructure are quietly rewiring the region's economic geography, forging dependencies that military patrols can't break. The old paradigm of military dominance hasn't vanished, but it's now subordinate to economic influence. The Red Sea's new verdict: economic control is the crown, and those who wield it are the new kings. The contest here is no longer about who has the biggest fleet, but who controls the flow of commerce. The Red Sea is now a battleground between two philosophies: military dominance and economic leverage. Traditional powers still rely on warships and surveillance, believing security is the foundation of control. But a new school argues that true influence comes from controlling ports and trade flows, not just patrolling waters. Economic powers wield influence through logistics contracts and infrastructure deals, embedding themselves in the region's commercial fabric. A navy can guarantee safe passage, but it can't force a rival's port to grant docking rights or outbid better shipping rates. Military strength is now a shield, not the sword. It enables, but doesn't guarantee, influence. The nations that thrive are those who integrate both forms of power, using navies to secure the economic investments that truly shape the region. The Red Sea is the stage for this modern paradox, where economic strategy increasingly trumps military might. The future belongs to those who master both. The Red Sea is a global artery, connecting Asia's factories to Europe's markets. 12% of world trade, including oil and LNG, flows through its waters each year. When the Red Sea runs smoothly, supply chains are stable and prices predictable. But its southern choke point, the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, is a narrow, vulnerable gateway. Any disruption here, conflict, piracy, or instability, forces ships to detour around Africa, adding weeks and massive costs. The ripple effects are global. Higher prices, delayed goods, and economic shocks felt from supermarkets to factories. Whoever controls this passage wields enormous leverage over the world economy. For exporters, it's access to markets. For importers, it's a lifeline for goods and energy. The Red Sea's economic gravity makes it a fiercely contested prize. In 2026, understanding this is key to grasping the region's quiet, high-stakes struggle. The UAE and India are leading the Red Sea's economic transformation. The UAE's strategy: invest in and control key ports like Berbera, turning them into world-class logistics hubs. By managing trade infrastructure and partnering with sub-national actors, the UAE bypasses unstable governments and secures diversified access. India, meanwhile, focuses on trade security partnerships and infrastructure investments, ensuring its economic interests are protected without a naval arms race. Both nations understand that power now flows along supply chains, not through military conquest. Their approach is quiet, cost-effective, and deeply influential, capturing trade rather than territory. By becoming indispensable logistics partners, they weave their interests into the region's economic fabric. This economic first blueprint is proving far more durable than traditional military expansion. Egypt, long a heavyweight thanks to the Suez Canal and its navy, now faces new limits. Its warships can secure sea lanes, but can't dictate commercial decisions made far from its shores. As rivals like the UAE build modern ports in the Horn of Africa, trade is being pulled away from Egypt's traditional sphere. Egypt's response to defensive summits, exclusionary councils, and new port deals in Eritrea and Djibouti. Yet, these moves highlight the limits of military power in an economic contest. Force alone no longer secures primacy. Economic agility is now essential. Egypt's navy still matters, but it can't control markets or trade routes. The nation is playing catch-up, learning that commerce, not cannons, now shapes Red Sea power. Military muscle gets Egypt a seat at the table, but not control over the menu. The Horn of Africa has become the Red Sea's new strategic core. Ethiopia, landlocked but ambitious, is driving this shift, rebuilding its navy, seeking sea access, and championing economic interdependence. Its growing influence forces neighbors to adapt, elevating the importance of coastal states like Somaliland and Djibouti. Somaliland's port of Berbera, backed by the UAE, is now a vital hub and a lifeline for Ethiopia. Djibouti leverages its location, hosting foreign bases and balancing global interests. Somalia's recent break with the UAE and pivot to Saudi Arabia shows African states are now active players, not passive pawns. The Horn is no longer the periphery. It's the vibrant, contested heart of the Red Sea story. Regional ambitions and rivalries are reshaping the map. All Red Sea power plays converge at the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, the region's ultimate choke point. Chronic instability in Yemen makes this narrow passage the world's most vulnerable trade gateway. The Iran-backed Houthis, controlling much of Yemen's Red Sea coast, have repeatedly disrupted shipping with missiles, drones, and mines. Any escalation could trigger a global economic crisis, holding trade hostage. Rival factions, backed by the UAE and Iran, control key Yemeni ports, turning the coastline into a proxy battleground. The threat is growing more sophisticated, with Houthis and Somali militants allegedly coordinating attacks. The Bab el-Mandeb is now the epicenter of a wider arc of instability, where militant groups could synchronize disruption. It's the most dangerous and unpredictable gateway in global trade. The fierce rivalry between Saudi Arabia and the UAE is reshaping the Red Sea and the Horn of Africa. The UAE backs subnational actors and secessionist movements, securing ports like Aden and Berbera and bypassing unreliable central governments. Saudi Arabia, in contrast, supports unified states, aiming for stability and reliable partners to counter Iran and the Houthis. Somalia's recent pivot to Riyadh for military aid highlights this competition. Local actors exploit the rivalry, playing Gulf patrons against each other for resources and support. The result, a tangled web of alliances, proxy conflicts, and shifting loyalties. The Gulf contest isn't just about security. It's about shaping the region's economic and political future. Instability and opportunity now go hand in hand. The Red Sea in 2026 is a multipolar arena. No single power dominates. Military might still matters, but economic control now drives influence. Ports are the new fortresses. A nation's strength is measured by its portfolio of port concessions as much as its fleet. The UAE and India's economic-first approach is winning, while Egypt's military focus shows its limits. Ethiopia, Somalia, and Somaliland are now active players, not just pawns. The Red Sea reflects a global shift. Economic leverage is more sustainable than military coercion. The power to build ports and direct trade now rivals the power to deploy warships. The lesson in the Red Sea, control of harbors, not just the waves, determines who rules.